Good evening and welcome to this evening's Business Q&A. Well, with me in studio is Zack Buchan, who is the Chief Executive of a company called The Unlimited. And tonight we take a look at the impact of the global slowdown on the small business sector. Zack, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Smay. Pleasure to be here.
Let's start off with, we've seen the impact the slowdown has had on big business. What's the impact on our small businesses here at home?
There's been many impacts. I think certainly for businesses that are doing a lot of importing or manufacturing offshore, with the rand devaluing 40% in the last 6 months, it's effectively put that cost up by 40%. So that needs to get offloaded onto local customers, which creates a huge amount of challenges for those businesses. And then I think locally as well, with a lot of companies, with consumer spending habits changing, a lot of companies are really struggling to make ends meet. Retrenchments are pretty common, and times are definitely tough out there.
We've seen big businesses scaling back, slashing jobs. On the small business sector, what's it like there?
Very much the same. A lot of small businesses are, I feel, very inwardly focused at the moment, really worried about protecting the turf that they've got. They're looking at cutting costs, and sadly some of those decisions, perhaps there's been a little bit of overcompensation, and a lot of those decisions have ended up in those companies cutting into muscle as opposed to just trimming away some of the fat.
So what should they be doing then?
Look, it's different from business to business and industry to industry, but in my opinion, it's a great time to really do a couple of things. Firstly, build a strong team. There's businesses that are retrenching people, companies are closing down, people are coming back from Europe, and it's a great time to go and headhunt opposition who are perhaps in wobbly businesses, and also to identify people in your own business who are not what you thought they were. Everyone can look great when times are good, but when times are tough, usually those guys stand out.
How about those businesses that have been making advances into markets abroad? What's happening there and the challenges that they're particularly facing?
That's a very real challenge, and again, with the devaluation of the rand around 40% over the last 6 months, the cost of setting up and establishing a business offshore would have gone up by that 40%. So in our particular case, we found that we really had to come back to the drawing board, reevaluate where we are, and innovate strongly to move away from some of those high costs. And that's actually resulted in us having a re-energized focus around the South African market. I still believe there's lots and lots of opportunity here, but it's going to come from real strong innovation, and it's not going to come from inaction.
Do you feel there have been calls from various business quarters that we need intervention, whether it be fiscal, from the minister? Do you think the small business sector also is in need of such a package as well?
I think, on the one hand, there's a very strong argument to be made which says let market forces play out. We don't want to create businesses that are dependent. On the other hand, small businesses could absolutely do with things like tax cuts, tax breaks. They don't have the economies of scale of some of the larger businesses or the capital behind them. So tax breaks would certainly help them to become more competitive. And at this stage, I don't think we can afford to lose too many more jobs in South Africa.
You've talked about tax breaks making the sector more competitive. What else could be done to increase our competitiveness?
I think a lot of what needs to be done is internal. In my opinion, businesses right now need to be absolutely focusing on their core and their core competencies, and being very careful of the things that they do slash and that they don't slash, and the costs that they do and don't cut. If brand building right now, competition is likely to be very inwardly focused. It's a great time to move into the market and really push hard to grab some market share. Consumers' needs are changing, so shifting to suit those needs faster would be great and allow you to gain some of that market share and adapting to them, as opposed to just sitting back and trying to protect what you've got. Again, a great time if you are sitting on capital, I believe, to be looking at buying out potential other businesses that have got talent in them that you could bring internally, you could find that you could get a really good deal.
Zack, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure, thank you.
That's Zack Buchan from The Unlimited. Thanks for watching.